Today we're going to be talking about alignment lesson, rounding with number lines. You will have the sheet with you as well. This is your first sheet. The second sheet we're going to do in class tomorrow. It's going to be like your little mini assessment to see how we're doing with rounding. First one says round 43 to the nearest 10. So they already gave you kind of an idea of 40 to 50. Now remember our rule, if it's 5 and above, we give it a shove. 4 and below, we let it go. So what we have to think about when we're on the nearest 10 is the 1 spot. We have to think 3, is it 4 below or is it 5 and above? In this case, it is 4 and below. So we're going to leave it alone. We're going to let it go, as they say. So if we think about it in the number line, we can say right here would be about 45. And it's really right here, 43. So we're going to let it go to down there. So your answer would be 40. So again, all we're looking really is at the 1's location, just that one number, when we're around the nearest 10. Now if we look at this one, we're going to say around the nearest 100. And if, again, this time we're not going to worry about the 1's. Actually, you can really think about this kind of Xing out the 1's. The number we're going to be looking at is the 10's. Always the first 0 after the number 1. So the nearest 10 is the first 0. So think about this one. Is it 4 and below or is it 5 and above? Well, obviously it's 4 and below because we just said that. So we're going to let it go. So we're going to not change this number. So we're not changing the first number. And 100 has 2 zeros in it. So we put 2 zeros. So really it'll be over there. That would be your answer. Now think about 236, when we're around to the nearest 10. Again, this time we're not really worried about the hundreds, but we have to leave it there. We're going to worry about the 1's and think about our story. Is it 5 and above, give it a shove, or 4 and below and let it go. Pause the video, try that one real quick, and see how you can do with that, just that number. And we'll come back to that question. Alright, now you should have tried rounding the nearest 10, and just thinking of that 1's location. Think of that number. Is it 5 and above, or is it 4 and below? Well, if we think about it, that's 5 and above. So we're going to give the 3 a shove up. So it would be 240, which would be right over there. If you're not quite sure what we're saying here is, think of it this way. We know the 2 does not change, and we think of the 6 is 5 and above, and we're going to give the 3 a shove, or add 1. So it's like 3 plus 1. And what is that? Well, we have 3 plus 1, so it'll be 4. So it'll be 4, and this one always changes into a 0, so 240. We're going to try the bottom one now. 343, round to the nearest 100. So, as we did in the second problem, we're not going to worry about the 1 digit, so we're going to cross that one out. We are going to worry about the 10's digit, and ask ourselves the same question. Is it 4 and below or 5 and above? Pause the video, think about that one. We'll come back to it. Remember, you're around the nearest 100. See if it's going to be 300 or 400. Pause the video at this time. Okay, now hopefully you thought about it and says, well, it's 4 and below, so we're going to let it go. We're not going to change anything on the 3. So it'll be a 3, 2 zeros, 300. That would be our answer. That's called rounding with number lines. You can make yourself a number line, and you can really draw, if you think about it, like here would be 350. And here about 343, and it kind of gives you a visual on which way to go. Like this one here would be 236, and we're around the nearest 10, so here would be about 235, here would be about 236, so it'd be closer that way. kind of gives you a visual on where everything is going to be located at. Some people like it, some people don't. It's just different ways of math. And again, tomorrow we're going to work on the next page in class. I'll have it for you. Be kind of like your little mini assessment. So try some more. You can try as many as you want. Ask your mom and dad or whomever to write up some numbers for you and say round to the nearest 10, round to the nearest 100. Do whatever you need to do and be ready for tomorrow. And now you've just been flipped.